I mean, Gervonta Davis has he has a clause.
10 pounds or something.
Yeah.
So is Gervonta, especially in the pocket. I mean,
Gervonta in the pocket's a monster.
Oh my god, he reminds me like a little Tyson.
He's short and he conserves his punches. Where like the first few rounds, he throws very few punches.
He's just measuring. He's a computer, man.
Yep.
He's just getting the data.
Joe Rogan on his show has sent warnings to Jake Paul ahead of his fight with Gervonta Davis, demanding that he pulls out of the fight. Joe Rogan, who had earlier expressed little concern about the disparity in the fight. His earlier stance was that the skill difference was crazy, but Jake Paul would make up for that with his weight advantage.
That can end it.
He finds these openings and he sees them, but he doesn't go after them right away. He waits for the right time. He's so patient. Like when you watch the early rounds of his fights, he probably has the lowest punch count in the early round. But he also knows he's got that nuclear option that if he can crack you, most likely he's going to take you out.
I think the fight is an uneven fight that eventually becomes even. One has the skills, the other has the size. So whoever can use his advantage best would win, Joe Rogan said on his show. However, after seeing more clips from Gervonta Davis's training camp and how the lightweight champion has been handling his heavyweight sparring partners, Joe Rogan has now picked Gervonta Davis's skill over Jake Paul's size. In what's the biggest step of his career in terms of weight difference, Gervonta Davis is stretching himself like never before, sparring opponents who are almost 2 times his size. The video opens with Tank in the gym, ready to spar one of his heavyweight sparring partners. And then, once sparring starts, Tank is seen adopting a kind of boxing approach that he's never tried before.
Oh, there you go. Good God. Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Take deep breaths when you want. Take deep breaths. Right. Take deep breaths.
Ever since Tank resumed training camp last week, everyone in his camp has been saying the same thing about how different he is from other training camps. I feel like that button has been pressed. Lamont pressed it. And I'm seeing a Tank I've never seen before. No smiles, just work and more work. Assistant coach Kenny Ellis made this comment about Tank in an interview with Mill City Boxing.
Nice, clean, crispy shots, like the first fight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Yes, sir.
Don't mind. Go ahead, run it off.
The sparring partner he got was no match for him. Gervonta Davis just seemed too good, too passionate, and too angry to have lasted longer than 2 minutes in the ring with the guy. He was a sparring partner that had the same physique and style with Jake Paul, but Tank kept coming as a pressure fighter, with more power, speed, and precision that sent his partner to the ground minutes into the first round of their sparring. There were other sparring partners there, and only one of them was able to make it past the 4th round.
Listen. He's swinging for the fist.
Oh, that's the hook.
During an interview after the sparring sessions, Calvin Ford insinuated that he's scared of Tank even as his trainer and urged Jake Paul to get ready to meet a beast in the ring on fight night. When the video made it to social media, Tank's fans were the most delighted. They needed something to hold on to and believe, to be sure their favorite won't disappoint them. And his recent sparring session was just that sight that restored excitement in the camp of his supporters, as evident in the comment section.
Look like we're playing pool with a short stick. Fall in between him. Fall in between him. Punch when he punch, girl. Punch when he punch. Punch when he punch.
Yep. They ain't stopped firing. We slowed down. Now we're going to commence firing again. That's what we do. We reload and come back. Yeah, you ain't got to get close, Tank, because we know you're scared to get close. Get close, Tank. Keep rolling, Cal. All the way down the road. Come to me, baby. Get low, get low.
Imagine doing all these to Jake Paul on fight night. I don't want any slow start. We want to see Tank in action from round one. He can make Paul get tired early. No need to study him anymore. He already studied him in the first match. We want a knockout, a fan wrote. Another commented, I bet it with anyone. Tank wins this match and it's not getting decided by the judges. Well, we will see what Jake Paul brings to the table. But I'm expecting the real Gervonta Davis back in November. A third added, things I love to see. I hope he's able to find himself before that rematch. A focused and passionate Tank beats any version of Jake Paul. Only the casuals would argue this. The right version of Tank is what we need on that night. A fan who spotted Calvin Ford lurking around wrote, great to see Calvin Ford back with Tank. He holds Tank's winning secret. Once he's back, I'm assured Gervonta Davis gets the victory. Everything seems so right for Tank about the rematch. Sometimes a loss is a blessing. We'll see what happens on August 16th. He also warned Jake Paul that the gap in skill would make his size advantage very useless on fight night. The only downside to the fight is that it's an exhibition and the disparities really don't make sense. Joe Rogan then urged Jake Paul to go for the right fights, fight with legitimate boxers who are around his weight class, adding that you don't become a boxing voice by cutting corners.
You faking, you taking pictures of everything you're doing, then like round 3, round 4, he starts to fucking he's dialed in, he's slipping, pop, pop, pop.
He's got special power too. His power's special.
And he's mean too.
Oh yeah. Mean is a big part of it, isn't it?
I think having that dog, being mean is like the biggest part in it, you know, in being a fighter.
While most of the debate has earlier centered on their massive size difference, Joe Rogan had given his verdict on the fight. In the Fight Companion stream, Joe Rogan spoke about the most anticipated boxing match of the year, Paul versus Davis, calling it weird. There, he pointed out the size difference between them and said, Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis are so crazy. 135 versus 200, that is so nuts. After that, the podcast king also added the nature of this fight. They are exhibitions, which prompted Brendan Schaub to ask, what does that mean? Joe clarified, that means nobody wins. It's weird.
You know, the conversation he had with Eddie Hearn, where he said, I will knock out any one of your guys that has under 10 fights. He goes, whoever you want to have, bring me any guy that you have that's under 10 fights. You could see Eddie Hearn like, he was kind of stuck there.
You think?
Because those guys under 10 fights, like, what if Jake Paul knocks one of them out? Like, what if you get a guy that...
Well, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis is bound to catch attention, but fans are already scrutinizing the matchup for heavily favoring the problem child. The reason? As Rogan implied, Paul stands much taller and carries over 60 pounds more than Davis, which tilts the odds in his favor. Although Tank brings far more experience to the ring, the question remains, can he use his skills to overcome that massive size difference? We'll only find out when the two finally collide. However, another MMA legend has suggested an alternative to this matchup. Former UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Johnson believes Darren Till would have been a far better opponent for Paul than the World Boxing Association lightweight champion. So let's dive into what Mighty Mouse had to say.
It like hasn't been tested, maybe has some promise, maybe gets wrapped up in the hype and maybe gets a little nervous. And this is his first chance at a big show. And Jake Paul can crack 100%. That knockout of Tyron Woodley is legit as he can crack.
Tyron Woodley is not a boxer.
Yep.
When you mention Gervonta Tank Davis, one thing stands out, raw, bone-crushing power. Despite his shorter frame, Tank has a reputation for sending opponents into the shadow realm with 28 KO wins on his 30-0-1 record. But something unusual unfolded during his last title defense against Lamont Roach Jr., which made Joe Rogan doubt his abilities and discourage the fight against Jake Paul for a moment. Joe Rogan would have wanted a rematch against Lamont Roach instead. Not only did Davis struggle against the challenger, but he even dropped to his knees at one point. Usually, when a boxer drops to their knee, it's considered a knockdown, but Roach Jr. wasn't awarded a knockdown. After the fight ended in a draw, Davis blamed his hair products for the literal slip-up. But Joe Rogan isn't